There's something about Eckhart Tolle's teachings that feels undeniably profound. The way he speaks about presence, awareness, and consciousness seems to resonate on a level deeper than philosophy or psychology. But what if there's more to it than that? What if his insights aren't just spiritual wisdom but actually align with some of the most groundbreaking discoveries in quantum physics? For years, people have looked at science and spirituality as two separate worlds, one dealing with facts and equations, the other with inner experiences and subjective truths. But what if they're actually speaking the same language, just in different ways? What if the principles that quantum physicists are still grappling with today were already embedded in Tolle's words decades ago? This isn't just speculation. There are startling parallels between what Tolle describes in The Power of Now and A New Earth and what quantum mechanics has revealed about reality. Concepts like the observer effect, entanglement, the illusion of time, and the quantum field all seem to echo through his teachings, sometimes in ways that make you question whether he knew something science is only now beginning to confirm. In this video, we're going to explore these hidden quantum codes within Tolle's work. We'll break down how modern physics and his teachings align, not just on a theoretical level, but in ways that could fundamentally shift how you see reality itself. You'll see how the simple act of observing alters the world around you, how your thoughts interact with the unseen fabric of existence, and why time may not be as real as it seems. And this goes beyond intellectual curiosity. Understanding these connections has real, practical implications. If the principles Tolle teaches are grounded in the same forces that shape the universe, then applying them could be far more powerful than we've ever realized. By the end of this journey, you might find yourself looking at reality in an entirely new way. Because once you see these connections, you can't unsee them. Now, let's start with one of the most mysterious and perhaps most powerful principles in both quantum physics and spirituality: the observer effect. There's something almost unsettling about quantum physics. The simple act of observing can change the outcome of an experiment. This is known as the observer effect, and it's one of the most baffling ideas in modern science. But long before quantum mechanics introduced this mystery, Eckhart Tolle was teaching something remarkably similar. His work emphasizes presence, awareness, and the idea that when you step back and observe your own mind, something shifts. Could it be that consciousness itself plays a much bigger role in reality than we've been led to believe? Tolle often speaks about the act of observing your thoughts rather than being lost in them. He describes a fundamental shift that happens when you stop identifying with the mind and instead watch it from a place of awareness. According to him, this is the key to breaking free from suffering, because when you observe without judgment, thoughts lose their grip on you. This idea might seem purely psychological at first, but what if there's something much deeper happening? What if awareness itself has the power to shape reality in ways science is only beginning to understand? This is where quantum mechanics enters the picture. In the famous double-slit experiment, physicists discovered something truly bizarre. When particles, like electrons, are not being measured, they behave like waves, existing in multiple places at once. But the moment someone observes or measures them, they collapse into a single point, behaving like particles instead. In simple terms, the mere act of watching changes the outcome. This isn't just a tiny detail, it's one of the most perplexing findings in quantum physics. It suggests that reality isn't set in stone but is influenced by consciousness itself. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Tolle's teachings on presence closely mirror what happens in the quantum world. He frequently talks about the importance of being a neutral observer, watching the movements of the mind without identifying with them. When you do this, the nature of your thoughts changes. They lose their power. They no longer control you. Could it be that this is exactly what happens at the quantum level? Just as observing a particle alters its state, observing your mind alters your experience of reality. This isn't just theoretical. There are real-life implications to this connection. Let's take it beyond physics for a moment and consider what this means on a personal level. If the observer effect applies not just to particles but to your life, then your awareness might be shaping reality in ways you never realized. Think about this. When you focus on stress and negativity, you reinforce those patterns. When you shift into a state of presence and observe your mind without attachment, you create distance from negative thoughts. Just as the observer effect collapses quantum possibilities into reality, your attention collapses certain life experiences into being. This isn't just an abstract idea. It's something that has been measured. Scientists have conducted experiments to test whether human consciousness directly influences reality. One famous example is the Global Consciousness Project, where researchers found that random number generators, which should produce completely unpredictable results, showed patterns of order during moments of global significance, such as major world events. What does this mean? It suggests that large-scale human attention might be affecting the physical world in ways science can't fully explain yet. Tolle's teachings, in essence, offer a practical way to tap into this observer effect in daily life. By stepping into awareness, watching thoughts rather than being consumed by them, you might be shaping reality at a fundamental level. Tolle gives a simple yet profound exercise. Take a few moments to sit in silence. Instead of trying to stop your thoughts, simply watch them. Notice that the moment you observe a thought, it loses some of its power. This isn't just about mindfulness, it's about tapping into the very principle that quantum mechanics has uncovered. For centuries, spirituality has emphasized the power of awareness. But only now is science catching up and showing that observation itself alters reality, not just psychologically but physically. Tolle describes the shift that happens when you become the watcher of your own mind. Quantum physics describes the shift that happens when a particle is observed. Maybe these aren't separate ideas after all. And if awareness can change reality, what happens when everything is connected? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Quantum entanglement and the oneness described in Tolle's teachings. There's a phenomenon in quantum physics that defies everything we thought we knew about reality: entanglement. It's the idea that two particles, once connected, remain linked no matter how far apart they are. Change something about one, and the other responds instantly even if they're light years away. Albert Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance. But long before scientists discovered this strange connection, Eckhart Tolle was teaching about a different kind of connection, one that exists not between particles, but between people, consciousness, and the universe itself. He calls it oneness. Could it be that quantum entanglement is more than just a weird scientific anomaly? Could it actually be scientific proof of the interconnectedness Tolle has been speaking about all along? Let's break it down. In the world of classical physics, things are separate. A book is a book. Person is a person. Everything is distinct and operates according to predictable rules. But in the quantum world, things don't behave this way. When two particles become entangled, they act as if they are part of one unified system, even if they are separated by millions of miles. If you measure one, the other changes instantly. There's no time delay, no signal being sent. It just happens. This is more than just a strange experiment. It's a fundamental truth about how reality works at its deepest level. And here's where it gets interesting. Tolle frequently speaks about the illusion of separateness. He explains that the mind creates boundaries between me and you, between the self and the world. But in reality, those boundaries don't exist. When you experience presence, the deep awareness of now, you begin to sense that you are not separate from anything. You're not a self-contained individual moving through an external world. You are part of something much larger. This isn't just a spiritual concept. It's exactly what quantum entanglement suggests. Are we all entangled? If tiny particles can be connected across space and time, what does that say about human beings? About consciousness? About life itself? Think about it this way. If everything in the universe came from the same initial event, the Big Bang, then at some level everything is entangled. If observation influences reality, as we saw in the observer effect, then perhaps our consciousness is already linked to everything we experience. If quantum entanglement proves that distance is an illusion, could it also suggest that the separation between you and others is an illusion too? Tolle describes this feeling as a shift in perception. The more present you become, the more you feel this deep connection to everything. You stop seeing the world as made up of separate things and start feeling the underlying unity beneath it all. This isn't just philosophy. It's something science is beginning to confirm. Multiple experiments have confirmed the reality of quantum entanglement. In one breakthrough study, scientists separated entangled particles across vast distances and found that when one changed, the other responded instantly, faster than the speed of light. This suggests something profound. At a fundamental level, reality is not made of separate parts. It is one interconnected whole. This is exactly what Tolle teaches. He explains that when you stop identifying with your thoughts, when you let go of the illusion of separateness, you experience a state of unity, not just with people but with all of existence. How this changes your life. If everything is connected, then your thoughts, emotions, and actions don't just stay within you, they ripple outward. Consider this. Have you ever thought of someone, only to have them call or text moments later? Have you ever walked into a room and immediately sensed the mood, even before anyone spoke? Have you ever felt a deep connection to nature, as if you were a part of it rather than separate from it? These experiences suggest that we are already linked in ways we don't fully understand. Science calls it entanglement. Tolle calls it oneness. And the more present you become, the more you can tap into this connection consciously. A simple way to experience oneness right now. Tolle suggests a simple practice. Close your eyes for a moment. Drop the idea of being someone sitting in a room. Instead, feel yourself as awareness itself. Feel the space around you as not separate from you, but as part of you. For a moment, there is no me and everything else. There is just being. This is the experience of oneness. And if quantum physics is correct, then this feeling isn't just psychological. It's a glimpse into the true nature of reality. Eckhart Tolle has been teaching for decades that separation is an illusion and that consciousness is deeply interconnected. Now, quantum physics is showing us the same thing, not in metaphor but in hard scientific evidence. Maybe Einstein was right to call entanglement spooky, but maybe Tolle was right in saying that it's not spooky at all. It's simply the way reality has always worked. And if we begin to understand this, it changes everything. But there's another illusion we need to break, one that affects how we perceive not just connection but time itself. Because quantum physics suggests that the past, present, and future might not be as separate as we think. And Eckhart Tolle has been saying the same thing all along. That's exactly what we'll explore next. The illusion of time and why both quantum mechanics and Tolle suggest that only the present moment is real. What if time isn't what we think it is? We experience time as a straight line, past, present, future. We remember yesterday, live today, and anticipate tomorrow. But both quantum physics and Eckhart Tolle suggest that this might be an illusion. Science has discovered that time isn't absolute. In fact, time doesn't even exist in the way we assume it does. Tolle has been teaching this for years. He says, time isn't something real. It's a mental construct. The only thing that ever truly exists is the present moment. And quantum physics seems to agree. Isaac Newton thought time was a constant, ticking forward at the same pace for everyone, everywhere. But Einstein shattered that idea with his theory of relativity. He proved that time is not fixed. It stretches and bends depending on speed and gravity. Here's what that means. If you travel near the speed of light, time slows down for you compared to someone on Earth. If you are near a massive gravitational field, time passes more slowly than it does for someone farther away. This has been tested and confirmed. Astronauts on the International Space Station actually age slightly slower than people on Earth due to the weaker gravity. But quantum physics takes it even further. In the quantum world, particles don't experience time at all. They exist in a state of superposition, where they are in multiple states at once. Past, present, and future all blending together. This suggests that time is not something flowing like a river. It's more like a landscape, where past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. And this is exactly what Tolle has been saying all along. Tolle teaches that the past and future are mental constructs. They don't exist anywhere except in your mind. The past is just a memory, a thought happening right now. The future is just a projection, another thought happening right now. The only thing that's ever real is the present moment. Quantum mechanics seems to confirm this. It suggests that the present is not just the most important moment. It's the only moment. One of the most radical ideas in physics is that time doesn't flow. Instead, every moment, past, present, and future already exists. Physicists call this the block universe theory. Imagine reality as a film strip. Each frame represents a moment in time, and all the frames exist simultaneously. We experience time only because we are moving through the frames, one by one. But from a higher perspective, all frames are already there. Tolle says something similar. You are never outside the now. The past happened in a now. The future will happen in a now. There is only now. In other words, we aren't traveling through time. We are simply experiencing different parts of an already existing reality. If time is an illusion, then many of the things we worry about are also illusions. Regret is just replaying a mental story of a past that doesn't exist anymore. Fear of the future? It's an imagined scenario, not reality. Waiting? It's resisting the present moment for a future that will also just be another present moment. Tolle teaches that when you truly grasp this, your entire experience of life shifts. You stop rushing, regretting, and waiting. Instead, you live fully, completely in the now. And this isn't just philosophy, it's what science is pointing to as well. If both quantum physics and Tolle suggest that only the present exists, how do we live in that truth? Here's a simple exercise. 1. Notice your thoughts. Are they about the past? The future? 2. Shift your focus. Feel your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. 3. Realize this moment is all there is. Nothing exists outside of this present awareness. Tolle says, wherever you are, be there totally. And if quantum physics is right, then when you do this, you're not just practicing mindfulness, you're aligning with the fundamental nature of reality. Eckhart Tolle has been teaching about the illusion of time for years. Now, quantum physics is showing us the same thing, that past, present, and future may already exist simultaneously, and that time is just a perception. So, if we truly understand this, it leaves us with a powerful question. If time doesn't really exist, then what is consciousness? What is awareness? And this is where we arrive at perhaps the biggest discovery of all. Consciousness itself may be the fundamental fabric of reality. That's what we'll explore next. Everything you see, touch, and experience comes from an invisible field of energy. Scientists call it the quantum field. Eckhart Tolle calls it the unmanifested. Two different perspectives, one from modern physics, one from deep spiritual insight, yet both describe the same truth. There is an unseen realm that gives birth to everything. And here's the most fascinating part. You can learn to connect with it. Tolle teaches that beyond the world of form, beyond thoughts and emotions, there is an underlying presence, silent, still, yet infinitely creative. Everything comes out of the unmanifested, and everything will return to it. This aligns with one of the most groundbreaking discoveries in physics, the quantum field. Quantum physics tells us that beneath everything we perceive, beneath atoms, molecules, even light, there exists a field of pure potential. This field doesn't just contain reality, creates it. Everything we see, the stars, the earth, our bodies, emerges from this invisible ocean of energy. Scientists first discovered this in the early 20th century. When they zoomed in beyond atoms, they expected to find tiny solid particles, the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Instead, they found empty space, or so it seemed. That emptiness wasn't really empty. It was a dynamic, fluctuating energy field. And this field is what gives rise to everything. This matches exactly with what Tolle says. There is a formless dimension beyond the physical. It is the source of all things. The quantum field is not a physical thing. It is a realm of possibilities. Particles don't exist in a fixed state until they are observed. Instead, they exist in a state of potential. They could be here, there, or anywhere until something collapses them into reality. This suggests that everything is born out of a field of infinite possibilities. This is exactly what Tolle describes when he speaks of the unmanifested. He teaches that before anything exists, it is formless potential. Your thoughts, emotions, and even your life experiences arise from this field. By becoming fully present, you connect with this creative source. This isn't just philosophy. It's what physics is revealing at the deepest levels of reality. Scientists once thought that if you remove everything from space, all matter, all particles, you'd be left with pure emptiness. But they were wrong. Even in a vacuum where there is supposedly nothing, there is still energy. This is called vacuum energy, and it is constantly fluctuating, bubbling with potential. Tolle describes the unmanifested in the same way. It is the space between all things, the silent presence that gives birth to form. Quantum physics says everything emerges from the quantum field. Tolle says everything emerges from the unmanifested. Two different languages. One deeper truth. What happens when you silence your mind? When you stop clinging to thoughts, emotions, and external noise, you enter a state of pure awareness. And something incredible happens. Experiments show that meditation actually affects quantum systems. Studies have shown that focused attention can alter the behavior of particles. Some scientists believe consciousness interacts directly with the quantum field. In deep meditation, brainwaves shift into states that match quantum fluctuations. Tolle teaches that meditation is not just relaxation. It is a direct connection to the unmanifested source of reality. He says, to access the unmanifested, go deeply into the present moment. Become still. Be the silent witness. This matches what quantum physics is beginning to reveal, that consciousness itself may be the key to accessing the deeper levels of reality. If everything emerges from the quantum field, if all possibilities exist within it, how can you align with it? Here's what both science and Tolle's teachings suggest. 1. Silence your mind. The less mental noise you have, the more connected you are to the deeper reality. Try this. Sit quietly. Focus on your breath. Notice the space between thoughts. This simple practice shifts your awareness from form to formlessness. 2. Feel the presence behind everything. Tolle teaches that there is a stillness beneath all movement, presence behind every experience. Right now, try this. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice the space between them. Feel the stillness beneath your thoughts. This brings you closer to the quantum field, the unmanifested source. 3. Understand that reality is not fixed. Quantum mechanics has proven that reality is fluid. Particles do not exist in one place until they are observed. Tolle says the same about your life. Your reality is not fixed. The present moment contains infinite possibilities. This means you are not stuck in any situation. Your circumstances are not permanent. Change is always possible because you are connected to the same field that creates everything. Eckhart Tolle teaches that beyond thoughts, beyond physical form, there is a still, silent presence that gives rise to everything. Quantum physics describes an invisible energy field that creates all reality. 2 perspectives. 1 truth. And here's the most powerful realization. If everything is connected to the quantum field, if every possibility already exists within it, then what does that mean about your own consciousness? Could it be that your awareness itself is the creative force behind reality? That's what we'll explore next. Science and spirituality both point to an extraordinary truth. Consciousness is not just an observer of reality. It shapes it. For centuries, spiritual traditions have taught that our inner state affects the world around us. Now, quantum physics is discovering the same thing. The question is, how deep does this connection go? One of the most shocking discoveries in quantum physics is called the observer effect. Scientists found that when they measured tiny particles like electrons, the act of observation changed their behavior. Before being observed, the particle exists in a state of probability. It could be in multiple places at once. After being observed, the particle chooses a definite position. In other words, consciousness collapses possibilities into reality. This is not just a theory. It has been demonstrated over and over in quantum experiments. Tolle's teachings align perfectly with this. He says, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If quantum physics proves that observation creates reality, what does that mean for our everyday lives? It means the way we perceive the world affects what we experience. Our state of mind may be influencing reality more than we realize. Consciousness is not passive. It is an active force shaping what we called reality. Does your mind create your reality? This idea isn't new. Ancient spiritual traditions have taught for centuries that our thoughts and awareness shape our experience. Eckhart Tolle often speaks about the power of presence. He teaches that when you are fully present, you are in direct connection with the creative source of reality. Quantum physics suggests something similar. Reality is fluid, and consciousness plays a key role in shaping it. This raises an astonishing possibility. Could it be that your awareness itself is the key to unlocking new possibilities in your life? The illusion of time reality exists only in the now. Both physics and spirituality challenge our understanding of time. Quantum mechanics suggests that past, present, and future may all exist at once. Tolle teaches that time is an illusion. The only reality is now. He says, the past has no power over the present moment. Physics agrees. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is not a fixed, linear thing. It is flexible and relative. If time is not what we think it is, then the future is not set in stone. This means you are not trapped by your past. You have the power to shift your reality by shifting your state of consciousness. New possibilities already exist. You just have to become aware of them. One of the deepest truths revealed by both spirituality and science is the oneness of everything. Quantum physics has shown that at the most fundamental level, everything in the universe is made of the same energy. Particles that were once connected remain entangled, no matter how far apart they are. This is known as quantum entanglement. If two particles can be connected across vast distances, then what does that say about reality itself? It suggests that everything in the universe is deeply interconnected. Tolle says the same. There is no separation. All things are one. If science and spirituality are both pointing to this truth, then it means you are not separate from the world, you are part of the whole. Your thoughts and awareness are woven into the very fabric of reality. By changing your consciousness, you can change your experience of the world. If consciousness influences reality, then how can you use this knowledge? Here's what both science and Tolle's teachings suggest. 1. Master the present moment. Since reality exists only in the now, the more present you are, the more power you have. Try this. Focus on your breath. Let go of thoughts about past or future. Feel the aliveness of this moment. This shifts your awareness from a passive observer to an active participant in reality. 2. Change your inner state to change your outer reality. Tolle teaches that your inner world shapes your outer world. Quantum physics suggests that observation affects reality. This means, if you are constantly focused on problems, you reinforce them. If you shift your focus to possibility, new opportunities arise. Instead of thinking, I am stuck, try, this moment is full of possibilities. This shift in awareness aligns you with a different version of reality, one where change is possible. 3. Embrace the unknown. Quantum mechanics tells us that reality is not fixed. It exists in a state of potential. Tolle teaches, The unknown is where all possibilities exist. Instead of fearing uncertainty, see it as the source of all new possibilities. Ask yourself, what if the uncertainty in my life is not a problem, but an opening? What if, by letting go of old patterns, I allow something new to emerge? When you bring together Eckhart Tolle's teachings and quantum physics, a profound truth emerges. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of the creative process itself. Consciousness interacts with the quantum field. The present moment is the only true reality. Your awareness shapes the world around you. This is not just a theory. It's something you can experience directly. Because when you quiet your mind and tune into the present moment, you are no longer just a passive observer. You are the field. You are the awareness. You are the force that shapes reality. And once you realize this, everything changes. Now that we've explored how consciousness shapes reality, the next question is, how do we live in alignment with this truth? Eckhart Tolle and quantum physics both point toward one answer: awakening. Awakening is not about acquiring more knowledge. It's about seeing reality as it truly is, beyond thoughts, beyond beliefs, beyond illusion. Tolle teaches that most people live trapped in their minds. They are caught in a constant stream of worries about the future, regrets about the past, stories about who they are and what they need. This mental noise creates a false sense of self, the ego. The ego says, you are separate from the world. You must fight to survive. Happiness comes from external things. But what if this is just an illusion? Quantum physics suggests that there is no real separation. Everything is connected. The physical world is not fixed, it responds to consciousness. The past and future are mental constructs. Only the present is real. So if the ego is based on false assumptions, then living from the ego means living out of alignment with reality. Tolle calls awakening the shift from thinking to presence. Instead of being lost in thoughts, you become aware of awareness itself. In this state, the mind slows down. You experience deep inner peace. You realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. And here's where quantum physics supports this. Studies in neuroscience show that when people enter deep states of awareness, such as meditation, their brain waves shift. The default mode network, linked to ego and self-referential thinking, quiets down. More coherence emerges in the brain, meaning thoughts, emotions, and awareness become more harmonized. This suggests that awakening is not just a spiritual idea, it is a measurable shift in consciousness. Tolle describes a state called no mind. This doesn't mean having no thoughts at all, but rather, not being ruled by thoughts, accessing a deeper intelligence beyond mental chatter. Many of history's greatest discoveries, whether in science, art, or philosophy, came not through thinking, but through deep presence. Albert Einstein, for example, described his insights as coming from a state of deep stillness. The same happens with spiritual masters. They do not overthink reality, they experience it directly. They do not search for answers, they allow them to emerge. This aligns with quantum physics because particles exist in a field of potential until consciousness interacts with them. The mind, when silent, becomes an open field for new possibilities. What does awakening feel like? People who experience moments of awakening describe a sense of deep peace, even in difficult situations, a feeling of connection with everything, a knowing that they are more than just their thoughts and emotions. This is not something mystical, it is a shift in perception. When the mind is still, reality is seen clearly. And when reality is seen clearly, suffering disappears. How to awaken: simple practices. Awakening is not something you achieve in the future, it happens only in the now. Here are simple ways to experience it. 1. Pause and observe. At any moment, you can step out of the mind and into awareness. Try this. Stop whatever you're doing. Take a deep breath. Notice what is around you without labeling anything. For a few seconds, just be. This is presence. 2. Shift from thinking to feeling. Instead of trying to think your way out of problems, shift your attention to the body. Feel the energy in your hands. Notice the aliveness in your chest. Pay attention to the space between thoughts. This simple shift moves you out of the mind and into direct experience. 3. Use the power of now. Tolle's core teaching is, nothing exists outside the present moment. Whenever you feel lost in worry or regret, ask yourself, what is my direct experience right now? Is there actually a problem in this moment, or just a thought about a problem? You'll find that almost all suffering comes from resisting the present. When you accept the now, peace arises. Here's the deepest realization. You are not just a person experiencing the world. You are the awareness in which the world appears. Consciousness is not something you have, it is what you are. This aligns perfectly with both Eckhart Tolle's teachings and quantum physics. The observer is part of reality. There is no separation, everything is one field of awareness. Your state of being shapes your experience of life. Once you realize this, you are free. You no longer live as a prisoner of the mind. You live as pure awareness, awake, present, and at peace. And that is the greatest transformation of all. We've uncovered something profound. The link between Eckhart Tolle's teachings and quantum physics is not just theoretical, it is deeply practical. The mind has long been conditioned to believe in a fixed, separate, and linear world. But both modern science and ancient wisdom reveal a far deeper truth. Consciousness influences reality. Time is an illusion, only the present exists. Everything is interconnected. The universe operates as a field of infinite potential. Tolle's wisdom echoes these discoveries, not through equations or scientific language, but through direct experience. He teaches that when we shift from mind-based thinking to pure awareness, we align with the actual nature of reality. Most of humanity is still caught in the illusion of separateness. People believe they are isolated individuals struggling in a vast universe, but this is a false perception created by the mind. Quantum physics tells us that everything is connected at a fundamental level. Tolle tells us that suffering arises from the illusion of separateness. So, what happens when we truly see beyond the illusion? We stop identifying with thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances. We begin to operate from a place of awareness, presence, and stillness. And when we do, life transforms. Spiritual insight and scientific discovery mean little if they are not lived. The real power lies in integration, bringing these truths into everyday life. Here's how you can start. 1. Shift from reaction to observation. Every time a challenge arises, instead of reacting automatically, pause. Observe your thoughts without identifying with them. Notice emotions as energy moving through you, not as who you are. Recognize that every situation is neutral until your perception assigns meaning to it. By stepping into the role of the observer, you reclaim your power over reality. 2. Anchor yourself in presence. The past and future are mental constructs. Only the present moment is real. Throughout the day, ask yourself, am I fully here or lost in thought? What is my direct experience in this moment? This simple practice pulls you out of mental time travel and into the now, where life actually happens. 3. Live as a conscious creator. Quantum physics suggests that your observation influences what unfolds. Tolle teaches that your state of being shapes your life experience. So instead of trying to control external circumstances, shift your attention inward. Cultivate inner peace rather than chasing external security. Embody gratitude rather than waiting for reasons to be thankful. Hold space for stillness rather than constantly seeking distractions. The paradox is this: when you align with the present, life flows effortlessly. The greatest discoveries are yet to come. The line between science and spirituality is dissolving, revealing that consciousness is the missing key. What happens when quantum research finally acknowledges the full role of consciousness? How will our understanding of reality evolve when mainstream science accepts that we are more than physical beings? What other universal truths are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered? This is just the beginning. The invitation is clear. Wake up to the true nature of reality. Not as a theory, not as a belief, but as a living experience. Because the moment you truly see, you are free.